Hello, welcome back to my channel. So I'm a personal bartender. I bartend at people's houses for private events, corporate events, weddings, etc. Lots of fun things. And I'm gonna show you what is in my bar kit today. A lot of stuff I got on Amazon, which I'll link below if you're interested in getting any of these things, but let's get started. So I typically don't bring a bar or a bar table. I will rent them if someone wants them, because typically houses already have bars or they'll have like a little area in their kitchen they want me to set up in. But if they don't, I will provide that as well. So right now I'm going to go through all of the things that I bring. First thing that I like to bring are bar mats, just because it makes it look really cool. Like, it is a bar, it looks like you're at a restaurant. These are really, really awesome. I just can throw these in the dishwasher after every event. I have 2 of them that I bring. Sometimes I don't put them out, but I like to because it also catches a lot of the liquor or the liquid, and so I don't have to be constantly wiping and going through a ton of bar towels. The next thing I bring is a paring knife and a cutting board. I just got this, I think, at Marshall's, easy peasy. You can also get them on Amazon because jalapenos, limes, lemons, you need to cut stuff. So having that is great. And the less you can ask of a client, the better. I also bring straws and napkins. I usually bring it in like a little cute little basket that I display. I like to bring cocktail napkins. Oftentimes guests will have them, but I bring them just in case. I also bring gloves because Lord knows you don't want to cut a jalapeno and then touch your eye. Not fun. Or sometimes you're helping plate food if they are, say, had a private party, you can kind of do both things. I like to have these just because it's sanitary and I don't always have access to wash my hands constantly. That's very good to have those. Next thing I have is a bar spoon. Great for getting garnishes and for layering cocktails, for mixing Manhattans, you know. And then of course, tons of wine keys. Inevitably you will lose these, so I buy huge packs of them at a time. I love these, they're a couple dollars, they're so cheap. I love these bartending ones because they have a double layer, my favorite, so we'll talk about. Pour spouts. Oftentimes guests will have big bottles of alcohol, so these won't fit in Costco size bottles, but it's good to have for like sides like mixers, Cointreau, triple sec, lime, lemon juice to make it quicker. I love having some pour spouts. They're optional, but I do have them. Definitely have a strainer. If I'm gonna make a batch cocktail, I would use these, especially if it's say a wedding and I want to make a couple, because they're going really fast and I want the blind to be minimal so people aren't waiting. I will use this to funnel or maybe marry bottles of alcohol. You're not supposed to do that in a restaurant, but if you're at someone's house and they have 3 different open bottles of Pinot, you can marry them. Marry them meaning you combine them, if you didn't know what that term means. I also bring my Hawthorne strainer, which I love, so I can strain any cocktails. I don't necessarily need this all the time, but this is a typical bar tool. It stops most ice. If you want to have a fresh iced cocktail or you want to keep the fruit away, this is really important. Beer opener, love these. You can also use this as a beer opener, but it's sometimes I like to put this, especially if there is a galvanized bucket of beer. If I'm busy making drinks, sometimes we'll set the beer on ice and I can just tie this little guy, this little handle to it so I can keep it so that no one takes it. But it's nice if then they can open their own beer so that we can keep the line moving, because if someone's standing in line for simple beer, they can grab it themselves, or again, it's quicker to open it from there. Jiggers, I don't always measure. I usually free pour, but if there's a specialty cocktail, say that somebody, they, Google something, hey, can you make me an Irish maid? I'm like, well, what is that? That's equal parts, lemon, simple, whatever. I don't know what the measurements are. I'll make it because that's how they want it to taste a certain way, because if that's what they're requesting and say I've never made it before, I'll use these as well. Very important. I like to get wine stoppers or wine corks, keep a couple with me, because inevitably there will be a bottle of wine that is left over and is not finished, and either the client will let me take it home, or they want to keep it at their bar or whatever, and I like to be able to stop it. I do have some main ones too that I keep that I take home. Also a champagne topper. There's nothing like you go to open a bottle of champagne, pour a glass, and then stick it in a bucket, and the bucket is melted a little bit, and then it falls over and the champagne is now in the ice and half of that water is in the champagne, and you kind of can ruin a bottle of champagne. So having a stopper is very, very important. I love these, they're really awesome. They keep the bubbles in as well, so they're not escaping. Vegetable peeler, fruit peeler, old fashions, lemon twists, lime twists, love this, definitely have it, it's cheap. Muddler. Someone wants a mojito inevitably. Someone wants an old fashioned, so they're wanting that ice cube crushed. Having a muddler is very, very important if there's any type of fruit you want to muddle. A lime or lemon citrus squeezer. Love this, especially if you're making fresh margaritas or palomas. I was at a party recently and they had a bunch of grapefruits and they brought a bunch of grapefruits to me. And I'm like, instead of sitting there squeezing, getting that stuff everywhere, I was able to cut it on my board and then squeeze the grapefruit into the paloma, and it was delicious. Next thing I bring is my rimmer. I don't always use it, it's nice and compact, but if I have a small working space, I won't. I'll just maybe have a plate of salt, especially if it's just maybe one type of salt or they're just doing tahini. But this is cool because you can have your lime juice, sugar, and salt out. I do like this. Again, it takes up a big footprint on your table, so I don't always use it, but if I do, great. It's a little compact. I just keep it with my kit, whatever. Boston shakers. I love these ones. I like them because I don't bring glass usually because they break. You can get plastic bottoms too, so you can see in them. But I love these, and I usually bring two because one person's gonna want a spicy drink and one person's gonna want a whiskey drink, and you don't want to marry the flavors. You want to keep them separate. So I like to have two. And you can't always get to the sink to wash them, so it's very important. The next thing I bring it's not really tools, but I bring my business cards with me that I got on Canva. I love Canva. Do all my promo materials from there. And then of course a tip jar. If the client allows you to have a tip jar, I put my Venmo on it, which is awesome because some people don't have cash. So having a little bucket where you can just snap a little QR code or scan a QR code and you can make some extra dough. So that is what I have in my kit. I keep it in this little rolly thing. I think I have that in another video, like a little cart. This is pretty simple. It's pretty straightforward and standard. This stuff probably cost me under $100. I'm gonna do another video where I'm going to link below on the bar table that I use. The portable bar table is awesome. It isn't as sturdy, but it definitely does the trick. And I always bring an adjustable table as well. So I hope you like this video. Give me a thumbs up and don't forget to hit the subscribe button to get more content on how to build awesome bars, to create amazing cocktails, and to learn about this whole world of bartending, alcohol, and everything in between. Peace.